Thank you. So now that we have discussed a little about how you can hone these types of skills towards helping you recognize emotional intelligence, as Caleb discussed previously, now let's get more in depth as to what are the aspects of emotional intelligence and its important role in everyday life. So there are four main aspects in emotional intelligence. These are to perceive, understand, facilitate and manage emotional intelligence. So to perceive emotional intelligence would be to be self-aware or social aware of the emotions that are going around you or the emotions that are going through you. This can be through body language or facial expressions. So if you have a friend, for example, who is always outspoken and somehow one day they are just shy or they're just not themselves, you are perceiving their emotional emotions at the moment, which can then help you understand the message behind the emotion. You've already gone through the step of perceiving that you know there's something wrong. Now let's get to the bottom of what's going on. So understanding means that you are able to get the message behind the emotion they're emitting. This will help you create some type of possible action towards helping an individual or changing any type of self emotions that are going through you. The next step would be to facilitate. Now, facilitating means you're prioritizing your thoughts and actions. So you've encountered your friend, again, the same individual who's usually outspoken. They're sitting alone, acting out of the normal, not something that we usually do. You've then understood why they are in that sort of space at the moment, why their emotions all of a sudden change. The facilitating part of it will help you bring that plan into action. So under the understanding step, you understood and you are able to formulate some type of plan. Facilitating will help you bring that plan of action towards how to change your own emotional intelligence towards guiding them into a new type of space, or how to help them facilitate their own emotions, helping them get out of the dark space that they're currently in. The management part of it comes after you facilitate, or it could be totally different of itself. So with the management part of it, you're using emotions towards your advantage. So yes, that individual is currently out of the normal, sad, depressed, whatever the occasion may be, whatever the cause may be. With the management, you're bringing in your own emotions towards changing that individual's emotions. This is using the emotions towards your advantage. You could, for example, that same individual who's out of the normal, you yourself are a happy, outspoken person, and so you try to make some jokes or maybe comfort them in some type of way. So your emotions, because you were aware and you understood their need, you can then facilitate your own emotions to create a positive atmosphere for that individual. Certain emotions can create certain outcomes. So for example, if that same individual stayed sad and then because of that you were they used those emotions unintentionally, of course, towards their advantage and got you in a sadder mood. Any individual who then notices both of y'all that are sad and depressed are going to create a certain outcome in the certain scenario that you're in. So be it, let's say you're at a gathering and both of you are sad, it's going to create a different kind of atmosphere for that particular environment. So once you are able to understand those four aspects, you can then use them towards your advantage or use them to better guide yourself in any type of emotional situation. The importance of emotional intelligence will come into play when you are making informed decisions. This would be you can create some type of any decision that you make basically is caused by rationality. You could let's say you want to go to a park but you are scared of roller coasters. Your emotions are guiding your rationality towards not going to a certain park. Or let's say you do go to that park, because you are scared of a certain ride, you are not going to get on that ride. So this is creating in your mind rational decisions towards having a better lifestyle, you would say. It can predict life outcomes. If you are a person who can well manage your emotional intelligence, you can go basically handle any type of situation. Many of the leaders now are currently individuals who are able to manage their emotional intelligence. You can see many of these individuals in higher ups, people of higher power in certain companies and certain situations. For example, a president has to have certain emotional intelligence to be able to run a country. But this will also help you build relationships. If you are the individual who can manage your emotional intelligence, you can better create social networks. You are the type of person who's easy to be with, and you're not the type of person who will create any type of emotional distress for anyone. A good example that I can think of, I'm not sure if you would be familiar with this, there's a current show called The Big Bang Theory. There is a particular individual in that show named Sheldon Cooper. He does not have, you could call, great emotional intelligence. His actions are not geared through emotions, they're geared more towards logic. Because he only thinks from the logical side of things, he does not take into account other people's emotions. So any action that he does, as you can see through the show, if you were to watch it, any action that he does will have some type of consequence, which will eventually geared him towards, eventually he's gaining more emotional awareness to be able to understand and facilitate his emotions, or the emotions of other in that case. With that being said, thank you very much.